Hey boys, it's HarmNone. In today's video, we're going to be going over the top 10 trucks in GTA. Now, I just want to start this video off by saying we need more trucks in GTA. When I was making this list, I was shocked because in my mind, I kind of thought that there were like a lot more trucks than this, but it's really sad because there's like 15 pickup trucks in GTA. And a lot of them are like pretty terrible. So Rockstar, if you were watching this video by any chance, please, we need some more pickup trucks in the next update. It's actually unreal. We got very few pickup trucks in the game. But of course, on this list, I have picked the best ones in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and get into this, starting off with number 10. At number 10, I have selected the clean Karen Rebel, coming in at $22,000. It's not the fastest truck, however, it does have some good customization. This and the Rusty Rebel both have some good customization. The Rusty Rebel is a little bit cheaper. The clean one, I think, looks better, which is why I chose it to be on the list over the Rusty Rebel, of course. For 22 grand, you're really not going to be able to go wrong with this vehicle. It's decently fast. It's a pretty good off-roader with good ground clearance. It is all-wheel drive, just so you guys are aware of that as well. Obviously, it's a truck, so the top speed is going to be a little bit weak, and especially for a $22,000 truck, it's definitely going to be pretty weak. But overall, I feel like this is a solid truck. I think it looks good. I think it has, decent performance, especially decent off-road performance, and that is really what matters with the truck, I think. So anyway, that's it for number 10. On to number 9. At number 9, we have the Vapid Sadler, coming in at $35,000, available on Southern San Andreas Super Autos. This is another all-wheel drive truck. Obviously, in GTA, we don't really have four-wheel drive or just rear-wheel drive, and you can put it in 4 high or 4 low. So these things are pretty much all just all-wheel drive, which, by the way, I'm just going to say, Rockstar, if you're watching this, I would also like to see the ability to, select what drive you're in GTA 6. I don't think that feature is going to be coming to GTA 5, but if it comes to GTA 6, that would be awesome. Having 4 low and 4 high and just rear-wheel drive would be pretty cool for some of the trucks. So anyways, the Vapid Sadler doesn't have any customization. However, there are a few different variants you can get of this thing. There's one with a headache rack, there's one with a bull bar, and I believe there's one with a bull bar and a headache rack. And there's also one with like a landscaping like rack in the back, or like a ladder rack, I want to call it, something like that. It's like this big apparatus in the back of the truck. It looks okay, it's kind of cool. The Sadler's got, kind of bad performance overall. However, it is the fastest utility vehicle in all of Grand Theft Auto Online for racing. So if you guys are interested in doing some utility class races, the Vapid Sadler is going to double as not only a great off-roader and a great vehicle for free mode, but also a great vehicle for racing in the utility class. So there you have it. Next up at number 8, we have the Bravado Bison, coming in at $30,000. Now the Bravado Bison is an interesting truck. This is actually a 6-seater. You can have people sit on the 2 boxes in the back of the bed of this vehicle. And for 30 grand, having a 6-seater, it's actually not too bad. The Bison also has shockingly good performance. It's strikingly similar to the Ram 1500 in real life, where it's very fast and people will tailgate you with the Bravado Bison and flash their high beams at you and get right on your bump. Oh, sorry, no, that's real life. The Bison's not that fast in GTA. It's also not that fast in real life, but Ram 1500 drivers will tell you otherwise. Unfortunately, the Bison, like the Sadler, does not have much customization at all, but it is pretty quick in GTA. I'm not gonna lie, for 30 grand, this is a fast truck. And having the ability to hold 6 people is pretty decent too. The handling is okay. Its off-road performance is a little bit weaker because I do believe that the Bison is rear-wheel drive only. It could be all-wheel drive, but if it is, the split is like 90-10. Like 90% of the power goes to the rear wheels, 10% goes to the front. So it's not the greatest for like hill climbing and stuff like that. It also doesn't have the greatest ground clearance. Overall, I think it's decent looking, and for 30 grand, you really can't go wrong with it. Next up at number 7, we have the Declassy Yosemite, coming in at $485,000. The Yosemite is an interesting truck in GTA. This is definitely not one that's going to do super well off-road, I would say. However, it is kind of cool. When you first get into it and start moving, the suspension will raise up, and then when you slow down again and come to a stop, the suspension will come down. It's on like air ride or something like that, which is pretty interesting. On top of this, the Yosemite has a ton of customization that you can do to it to make it really unique. So I do think that that is pretty cool. However, it is a truck that's sort of limited to on-road performance. Off-road, this thing, like I said, is not going to do super well. So keep that in mind with the Yosemite. Obviously, it comes in at $485,000, which is a lot higher than any of the other vehicles we've gone over on this list so far. and it's actually one of the most expensive vehicles on this whole list. So if you're looking for off-road performance and on-road performance, the Yosemite is not really going to be for you. Here we have the Vapid Riata coming in at $380,000, which is actually pretty cheap. It's not a super expensive vehicle. This thing has a ton of customization, and on top of that, it's also got really good ground clearance. I think the Riata is a super good looking truck. I wish that this thing had a longer bed to it. That's my one complaint, is it's got like a super short box. So that is very unfortunate, but that's not to say it's not a good vehicle. This is definitely one of the best like rock crawlers in GTA. Very good at hill climbing as well. It's quite fast in a straight line. The handling is a little bit annoying because of this thing's height. It's so high up that it is a little bit top heavy. So if you're going over rocks and stuff, especially on an angle where your vehicle's sideways sort of, you have a pretty good chance of tipping over, unfortunately. So that is one thing to watch out for with the Riata, but for 380 grand and the customization as well as the performance that you get with this vehicle, you really cannot go wrong. At the number 5 spot, we have the Vapid Guardian coming in at $375,000. Just $5,000 cheaper than the Vapid Riata, but the Guardian is a very, very cool truck. The Guardian is another 6-seater truck similar to the Bravado Bison, except this thing is based off of a Ford F650, I believe it is. Could even be based off of the Chevrolet, like 6500. But I would be more inclined to say it's based off of the Ford. However, that is completely up for debate. The Guardian doesn't have much customization. It has a few little things that you can do to it, I know that. But overall, I would say it's a very, very good truck. And for $375K, you cannot go wrong with this thing. Its acceleration is decent. Its hill climbing ability is pretty good as well. Has a decent top speed as well as okay handling. I think it's a very good looking truck. Overall, this is definitely one to look into if you've never seen it before or if you don't own one currently. Next up at number 4, we have the classic. Of course, this is the Vapid Sand King XL coming in at $45,000 off of Southern San Andreas Super Autos, or of course you can steal it right off of the street. Now I went with the Sand King XL because it's the 4-seater. However, there is the Sand King SWB, I want to say it is, which is a 2-seater with a just an extended cab, not a full crew cab. Both of these trucks have a lot of customization as well as great ground clearance. Obviously you can see how high off the ground this thing is, making it pretty good at off-roading. However, my one problem with the Vapid Sand King is how bouncy this truck is. It's very good at crawling over rocks and stuff like that, but when you start going a little bit too fast over, you know, rocks or hills or anything like that, it becomes very bouncy and then you kind of lose control with it. So that is slightly annoying, but overall I would say that the Sand King, because it's such an OG vehicle in this game, and because it's just great, it definitely deserves to be on this list at the number 4 spot. With that being said, on to number 3. Next up, we have the Canis Camacho coming in at $345,000. This is one of the best off-road class vehicles in the entire game. It's probably like the 3rd best 4-wheeled off-roader in the entire game. The Camacho has a ton of customization as well, and for its very cheap price point, you really cannot beat this thing. It has great acceleration, very good handling, especially good off-road handling, I will say as well, a decent top speed, and like I mentioned a few times now, the customization for this thing is pretty unreal. There's so much that you can do to it, which I think is absolutely awesome. Overall, it's a very good looking truck and it's made by the world's greatest manufacturer, which is of course Canis. At number 2, we have the Vapid Contender coming in at $250,000. Now technically the Vapid Contender is within the SUVs category in GTA, but we all know that the Vapid Contender is a truck. Unfortunately, there isn't even a trucks category in GTA, so it doesn't even really matter. The Contender has very decent ground clearance, extremely good acceleration, and a very high top speed. And for 250 grand, this thing is absolutely phenomenal. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't have much customization at all. You can put a canopy on the bed of this truck, but it doesn't really look that great. But if you want to, of course you can do it. Unfortunately, that's about it for everything cosmetic you can do to this thing, other than just like wheels and tires and stuff like that. But the Vapid Contender, make no mistake, is one of the best off-roaders in the entire game, one of the best trucks, and one of the best overall vehicles, especially at its low price point of $250,000. And the number 1 vehicle is of course the Vapid Caracara 4x4, coming in at $875,000. The most expensive vehicle on the list is of course the best. Now the only reason that this thing is at number 1 over something like the Camacho is just because it's a little bit more of a realistic looking truck, and I think that the customization options are just a tiny bit better on the Caracara 4x4. I really like this thing. It's got semi-decent ground clearance, it has fantastic acceleration, a very good top speed for a truck as well. You can do lots and lots of things to this. You can put a livery option on it, you can do the side skirts, you can do the bumpers, you can do a headache rack on the back of it. as well as many other things. I think that makes the Vapid Caracara a very, very good truck. I would say that the Caracara is definitely a fan favorite in GTA. I see a lot of people driving this truck, more so than any other truck in the entire game. So there you have it, guys. That's it for the top 10 trucks in Grand Theft Auto Online. Praying that Rockstar adds some more into the game so I can make another one of these that's a little bit more diverse. I mean, 6 of the 10 are Vapid vehicles, so it would be nice to have the ability to include some other manufacturers on here. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Rockstar adds some more trucks into GTA. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.